Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. We've had the Designer Shea Norling in the building. Tough loss last night for your Patriots. I mean,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought last night was a very interesting game. I enjoyed the defensive back and forth. I watched that game and I left feeling very confident in one thing about the Chicago Bears, because that's how I watch a lot of the football games around the league, right? How do the Bears learn from this? What do they figure out? And we got to talk about that, because I think if there's anything that you're going to focus on this offseason, and it probably was going to be the focus no matter what, but you got 100% your answer. You need to get this defensive line right. We'll talk about that coming up next. All that and more in today's episode of the Chicago Bears podcast. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Today's episode brought to you by Underdog. Make picks, win money. Shay, how was your Super Bowl Sunday?
Better than Will Campbell's.
Jesus. Listen. There's so many sacks that I felt should have been double counted last night, because he was also sacked with it. I didn't think there was a person worse than Braxton Jones.
Him and Jared Wilson both. Just awful. And like, May's catching a lot of strays today, and like the rare times that it was easy and should have been easy, there were moments he just whiffed. He did not play well.
Yeah.
But I got a text from a friend middle of the game, and he goes, if Tom Brady were the quarterback, would the Patriots be winning?
No.
And all I could think was, this is actually what I want to do with you on the show.
Let's do it.
Because Cap did the whole like Caleb's miles better thing this morning, which is fine. Like, people are allowed to like Caleb more. What I would like, my reaction last night was, if you could give me Caleb Williams or Drake May or Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson, take your pick. I could have any of those quarterbacks, my choice. Or you could give me a defensive line that can get home rushing 4. I'm taking the defensive line that can get home rushing 4 every single time, because I've seen it win every time.
Yeah.
I saw it beat May yesterday. I saw it beat Mahomes last year. I saw the Giants beat Brady twice with it.
How far you want to go back, realistically speaking?
Like, if you get home rushing 4, it doesn't matter if your quarterback is it doesn't matter if your quarterback is Zach Wilson or prime Tom Brady. You're losing the game. So a lot of the May stuff, he didn't play well. I'm not here to play defense for him. But there is no quarterback who could have been behind Will Campbell and Jared Wilson yesterday and survived. It was over.
Yeah.
It was the same thing as Chiefs-Eagles last year. When you saw the Eagles were getting pressure and sacking Mahomes, rushing 4, you're like, okay, game's over.
Because you can drop everybody back in coverage.
Yeah, you'll have nobody open. It doesn't matter what your protection is, because you guys can't win. Yeah. It's just, that's game.
I felt the same way leaving.
Football's a simple game.
Yeah, I felt the same way leaving that game. I watched, and not to say, I don't think I've gone off the cliff, and I get it, right? He's not our quarterback. He was drafted same year, and there's some people that have said, I would still take Caleb over Drake May. I personally would, but I didn't leave that game going, Drake May was the biggest issue in this game. I think we all left it looking at the offensive line saying, what the heck was that? Yeah, and it's why I feel so good heading into next season, and I think this offseason is so important, because you do have that. Like, I looked at that Seattle defensive line yesterday, and I was like, I'll tell you what, Joe Tooney handles a lot of those problems, right? Drew Dahlman up front, Jonah Jackson, like, I feel like you have an offensive line that can go to war versus a defensive line like that and be confident in it. You couldn't say that about Drake May for most of the season.
At least you feel comfortable knowing pressure with 4 is going to happen very rarely.
Yeah.
With an offensive line the quality of which the Bears have.
And when it does, you have that special player. And the biggest difference in Drake May and Caleb Williams is escapability. Like, Caleb's sack avoidance this year skyrocketed through the roof. Drake May kind of, at times, does more of what we saw from Caleb last year. He'll run himself into sacks in certain situations. And again, yesterday was a rough day. But the biggest thing for me, those few times where you can get pressure with 4, Caleb can make you right because of how he can get out of the pocket and create things on the move.
Well, I don't know. We just haven't seen it much. Like last year, I think you saw 4-man pressures a little more, and Caleb got sacked a lot more. Like, dude, if
Much
you
worse offensive line.
right, that's my point.
It was that, yeah.
I go back to Brady against the Giants, and like obviously using the GOAT is the best way to do this. Yeah. If you're giving up pressure immediately from the interior, you're dead. Yeah. It doesn't matter how escapable you are. It doesn't matter if you're like, you can be Lamar. You're dead. If you're getting pressured from the interior and it's non-blitz snaps, you're done. Yeah. There's just nothing you can do. Like, May is an escapable quarterback, but when your guard is being pushed into you by, who the hell is Riley Mills? Right. When your guard is being pushed into you by Riley Mills, you can't do anything.
Fam, tell me he didn't look like Coleman Shelton last night, bro. Like as he was just going backwards.
Dude, Jared Wilson
to get his feet
sucks. So just whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it was like I'm watching it and I'm going, man, if I could snap my fingers and give the Bears a defense that'll get home with 4 players go rushing, please, in a second.
It truly was. I left that game going, that's bottom line. Like, I've been, if you see a left tackle, listen, if you evaluate him and he's Trent Williams, it's different. But if you see a left tackle in the draft, you don't know what eyes he's going to be. That's an important position for you to help Caleb. But I left last night just like, it's defense. Mm-hmm. It's defense, it's defense, it's defense. And you need just enough offense to be great in that moment. Sam Darnold did not have a phenomenal night all night last night.
In fact, he was awful.
It looked very much like, especially early in that game, and it was hilarious hearing Chris Collinsworth. He's like, I'm seeing a little bit of Brett Favre action from Sam Darnold here, trying to fit it into pockets that just don't exist right now. Like, it was a bad day offensively, but you just needed a guy that could get you a little bit more than what you were getting offensively on the other side. Yeah. And at the end of the second quarter, you were getting that from Sam Darnold. He was putting you in close enough positions for you to get field goals.
No, Kenneth Walker was.
That makes it a heck of a lot easier.
Let's be real. Well. Like, it was Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, 160 in total? Yeah, I had that. That was nice.
Go green.
That was not go green, baby. But bottom line for me, though, I look at where the Bears are at right now and how do they get to a Super Bowl? How do you get to that next? What the heck just happened? How do you get to that next level of going from being one play away from the NFC title game to being the kind of team that you want to see? And it truly comes down to one thing, and it is find ways to get that defensive lineman. I don't care what it is this year. If it is Max Crosby, if it is the buy of the draft as well, however you do it, if you can create pressure with 4, you have the talent.
The one thing I'll say is it's 2 teams that it's not like either of them were flipping firsts to go get premium talent.
No, they got a ton of cap space.
It was, Seattle went out and paid DeMarcus Lawrence. Yep. The Patriots dropped a bag on Milton Williams.
Heck of a shot call for DeMarcus Lawrence, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm never going to win a championship in Dallas, and that was clear. Wins a Super Bowl his first year.
Impressive. No, it's just they both did it through free agency. They both spent money. And look, Ryan Poles tried to, but I've been saying it for a few weeks now. Milton Williams makes less against the cap than the combo of Grady Jarrett and Dayo Dangbo. Yeah. And I think those 2 decisions, because you cannot get out of them this year, you're stuck with them for 2026. Yep. Those are decisions that can haunt you. Those are losses on the margin because you thought it was more valuable to sign quantity than a singular player of quality.
Yes.
So I don't want them to make that mistake again. But, dude, I'll tell you, last night, immediately after the game ended, I just started looking at Bears offseason stuff. And I think this is a little bit trickier of an offseason than 100%. A lot of people have talked about. It's very easy to say, quarterback's on a rookie contract, so let's just spend money. Bears are $10 million over the cap.
They spent money.
Like that, and a lot of it is bad money. Yeah. And I'm not calling these players bad. I don't think that they're bad players. But when the top of your cap sheet and you're an over the cap team is DJ Moore, Montez Sweat, and Jalen Johnson, it's a problem. And those 3 guys are good players who make more money than they produce on the field. Like, if you comp out their contracts, DJ Moore's cap hit in 2026 is more than, like, every one of the top receivers that you can think of. He's up there. I'll pull it up in a second to make sure I get it accurately. But like every receiver he's with, you would look at and go, that guy makes way too much. And that's why I think we've started having more of these discussions about you're going to have to decide who's going to be here and who isn't, because you are a little bit in cap hell to start this offseason. And the only way to relieve that is getting rid of some players.
Yeah.
You can mess around with restructures and converting stuff to cash now. One, ownership has to be really willing to do it.
Yeah.
And two, the player has to agree to it. And that only takes you so far. Where you will really get relief is like if say the Max Crosby trade is a thing that happens.
Could happen, yes.
If you can include Jalen Johnson in that deal and then it's only one first, would you do it?
I've said this on radio. I would give up quite a bit for Max Crosby. So yeah.
Like
I'm down for whatever it takes to get defensive line pressure. Yeah, let's do it.
These are the decisions I think the Bears are facing where yes, Jalen Johnson's an outstanding corner. When he's 100% healthy, he's one of the best cover corners in the league. Yeah. The last time we saw him 100% healthy and also 100% invested.
Yeah.
Like he was incredible.
3 years ago at this point.
I say 100% invested because the final Eberflus year, when you get stories of Jalen Johnson MFing Eberflus in the locker room, I can understand letting go of the rope a little bit so I can write it off. Last time I saw him healthy and invested, he was awesome.
Yeah.
I get he's a great player, but I also, again, Patriots last night, they had the better defensive backfield. Christian Gonzalez was unbelievable.
He truly was.
But
I was like, he makes that game. It was still a blowout. He probably saved 2 touchdowns
for
with
sure.
Great plays.
And, like you can't cover up what you lack in a pass rush with cornerback play.
No.
You can cover up what you lack in cornerback play with a pass rush, which is where if Jalen Johnson can be a key piece in trading for a pass rusher, sort of like what Kenny Clark was for the Packers when they got Micah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because I might save a little money and improve at a bigger weakness.
I would agree. Here's what's interesting about it is it's probably going to be somebody on the defensive side or on the offensive side of the football that you end up having to move on from because you have an abundance there if you are to go that direction. Now, here's one thing, and I said this yesterday when we were doing the Super Bowl pregame. The one thing that I think is Bears fans probably fear the most, but you need to embrace a little bit. You're coming off a phenomenal draft.
Yeah.
Now, more on the offensive side than maybe what you saw on the defensive side. Ruben Hippolyte, I have massive questions on. I had massive questions on him when you drafted him. Shamar Turner, I thought was a good player, but the injuries kind of held him back. His entire rookie season essentially lost to injury. He did start to show you little flashes here and there. Zay Frazier, entire rookie season lost due to still something that is unknown this season. There does come a point, though, especially where the Bears are at right now, where you just have to trust that what the coaches are looking at is the right thing. And I think you have the right guys in the building. You've got the guy that went out and got Trey Hendrickson. You've got the guy that went out and got Khalil Mack, right? You've got the guy that was able to find those gems in the draft defensively in Dennis Allen.
Khalil Mack a gem?
I think Khalil Mack was a gem.
The 5th overall pick?
Well, but remember, everybody was looking at the Raiders like, what the F did you just do? You just went and got the undersized guy from Buffalo who his numbers are fine, but like, is he going to be that guy in the NFL? And then he immediately was a game wrecker.
Yeah, I mean, he was the 5th overall pick.
I mean, I get it.
We don't need to get into an argument about it, but it's fine.
I would say, to me, it is that he saw the talent and wasn't wavered by it. You know what I mean? Like, he went through the draft and was like, yeah, I see every knock that you are saying about this guy. All of that is BS. This guy can come into this league and play right now. That's, to me, where you have to have the trust at a certain point in your coaches to get things done. Because if we're being honest about it, Dennis Allen wasn't calling Dennis Allen's defense this year. Dennis Allen was calling Matt Eberflus's defense this year. Next season, you're going to see a lot of pieces moved around, and because you're locked in money-wise to some of these guys, you can't get off of some of it. It's going to have to be an L from someone offensively if you're going to add to this team via trade or whatever it is. even if you're bringing in some of these young guys.
And this is why people bring up DJ Moore. Like, I hate anytime DJ Moore gets brought up. The response to it is, why does Bears media act this way? Why do Bears fans act this way? Why are we running a guy out of town? Nobody's running a guy out of town.
I would love to keep him.
Yeah, you are a better offense with DJ Moore than without. Nobody's running this guy out of town.
Yeah.
It's simply your $10 million over the cap. DJ Moore, I just looked this up for accuracy. DJ Moore's cap hit for 2026 is the 8th highest among wide receivers.
Yeah.
Is he a top 8 receiver in the league? Have this really honest conversation with yourself as a fan.
No.
Is he a top 8 receiver in the league?
No. I do. Here's the thing, as it goes along, though. His contract, and he also doesn't seem like the guy that's going to be whining for a contract in a year.
Well, no, he just got paid.
His contract is, it doesn't matter in this NFL.
No, I know.
you know the second a new player gets paid.
Which is why I'm more aggressive about Jalen Johnson, because I know he's going to look for new paper.
Yeah, and he's already said as much. Like, DJ Moore's contract essentially stays the same over the next couple of seasons. That's going to go from 8 to probably 15 to because it's $25 million equally over the next few years, right?
I want to double check. Yeah, I don't think he has the Tyreek Hill clause where like Tyreek Hill is going to make $53 million against the cap this year. Yeah, DJ stays the same, so it drops.
So he'll drop every other year, and eventually you'll be like, "Wow, this is a phenomenal contract for you to have on your team."
It's also you're right, but it's also like 2026. You're in a pigeonhole, and your window's right now, and that's where I get a little concerned. Like this year, can you afford that number against the cap when you're already $10 million over?
Yeah.
How much restructuring can be done, I don't know. Like I don't know all the details of it, but that always brings up bigger problems to me. You kick money down the road on Montez Sweat, and then you having a massive number where, like, it's probably one you'll never see, but it just creates another decision. Same deal with Jalen Johnson. If Jalen Johnson wants new paper, that extends him into the future and might lower his cap hit this year because you can convert a lot of that to cash when you make the new contract.
Yeah.
You only create a larger problem down the road.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think here's my thing. Are you to a point with this team where you can say they're in Super Bowl window, which I think they are. I think what you saw last season, how close you are, what you just saw in the Super Bowl this year, you can get there. Your window is open now.
I think so.
If you're in that window, where are you being the most aggressive? And a lot of times we want teams to go out and we want them to be the most aggressive in free agency, go get the big name, go get the name. That's not how we've seen the teams that have won it do it over the last couple of years, though. And I think that part, right, the Chiefs, mostly an internally built defense. Couple of pieces that you went out and added via free agency, but nothing massive. Chris Jones, you drafted, right? Like McDuffie, you drafted.
George Karlaftis.
You have to get to a point where your process is via the draft, where every offseason it isn't go get the big name. We have the quarterback. We have the coach. Look how far that got the Patriots.
We talked about it last week was with the Eagles. That defense people talk about as being so elite is all draft.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean and Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And then they make the marginal move where they got Jalen Phillips for free because they stuck Miami with the money and they get a comp pick back when he leaves. Like that, those are the winning moves that those teams make. It's not the big splash move. What I would say is, because the Rams, when they won, made a bunch of splash moves. Yeah. If you're going to play this game.
One massive one.
Yeah, right.
They wouldn't have got Matt Stafford. The one massive one.
And Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, you did get Ramsey as well. Yeah.
So and even like Odell Beckham, but that's a more marginal thing. Yeah. And he ended up not playing much in that game anyway. The point I'm making is, if you have to choose which path you're going to take. I don't think you can middle this. If you're going to play the restructure game and get yourself some cap space that way and keep all these guys, I think then you also have to go F them picks. Mm-hmm. And let's move mountains, heaven and earth. We're going to get the best pass rushers we can via the draft, because I do think when you commit to keeping guys like DJ Moore and Montez Sweat and Jalen Johnson on the books, and you do things to kick their money down the road a little bit, that is straight out of Les Snead Rams playbook.
Yeah.
Of just that's a future
and
problem.
you'll have a 6-10 season.
And we'll worry about it then. Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to bottom out. You're also going to severely shorten your window.
Yeah.
Like, it's, okay, these are the players we have, and we're going to do this right now, or we're not going to do it. If that's the pathway, then go F them picks.
Yeah.
And just fill this team with as much talent as possible right now and go for it.
Yeah.
That's fine if that's the path they choose. The path that I'm more inclined to take is be okay moving on from a couple guys, get back in the draft, and hit things again, which it's risky, but it's no more risky than going all in, and you will maybe not be as good in 2026, but you will have more opportunity to get the job done. Like, I don't think it needs to be this pedal to the metal all-out push. It can be,
Yeah.
and if they do it, then commit to it. But I think those are the two paths that are open.
It's interesting, and let us know in the comments below, which path you would rather see the Bears take. What's interesting to me is I struggle with this isn't the NBA. This isn't baseball, right? Like, Drake may never get back. Like, this might have been it.
Yeah.
And I said it the second Joe Burrow lost. And I know now that's the popular opinion, but I remember sitting at a Super Bowl party, which I may never do again. Talk about that in a second here. But I remember sitting at a Super Bowl party and just looking to the left, and I was like, he'll never get back here. Like, that was his one shot. One Aaron Donald strip away is his one shot at going to the Super Bowl. He'll never get back here. Everybody looked at me and was like, do you see how good he is? You see how they haven't fixed the offensive line. Defensive line still in shambles. No defense down there. Still sicking with Zach Taylor. He's, at least with this regime of Cincinnati, unless he leaves, he'll never get back to a Super Bowl.
I remember watching Niners-Lions NFC title game with my wife, who is a Lions fan. Grew up, obviously, right outside Detroit. And Lions had a 17-point lead, and she looks at me and she goes, oh, my God, the Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl. And I said, don't do that.
Do that.
I said, nothing's promised. Don't do all that. And, of course, Lions blow the game. And she goes, well, we got Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, and we'll be right back. And I was like, it's not like I'm just, pissing in the punch bowl. But I'm sitting there, and she's saying this stuff, and I didn't have the heart to be like, that was probably the best shot that they're ever going to have. Like, it is infinitely more likely that they never have a 17-point lead in the NFC title game again than it is that they're just back here every year.
Yeah.
Contending.
It's a different where I like that you were like, I didn't have the heart to tell her. That's
I didn't, dude.
That's truly how I treat my daughter when she's like, what happened to that? We had a nice family of rabbits in the back, and
my poor wife.
We've got a nice hawk that lives in the neighborhood that, we went back there and we saw some fur one day.
Yeah, that's
And
brutal.
she was like, what happened? And I was like, remember in Lion King when they were like Circle of Life and she just started singing the song and I was like, perfect, just get out of here, kid.
Yeah.
Go the other direction. You gotta surprise them with something else.
Dude, my poor wife has never experienced football success in her life, and she's sitting there like, we're going to the Super Bowl. And then you get the most heart-crushing loss. And she's like, oh, well, we'll be back. And I'm like, I can't. I'd be a hell of an asshole to look my wife in the eyes right now and go, that was probably it.
Hey, honey.
Thankfully,
It's over.
Dan Campbell did the job for me when he got on the podium and was like, I just told the guys that might have been our best shot.
And I think that moment with Dan Campbell, that's so true. And this is the point I was making, right? If you feel like your window is open, I agree with you that the best path forward, draft right, build within, it's cheaper, it's more attainable, it allows you to be more flexible with the money. But are you ever going to be in a position like you are in 2026 where you have the inaugural protector of the year in Joe Tooney, still a healthy player. Mm-hmm. You've got Drew Dolman, younger age. You've got Jonah Jackson, younger age. You've got Darnell Wright, all pro. You got a great season out of Ajit Pillow. Maybe you figure that out. Are you ever going to be in a position again where you go, the offense is perfect for the most part outside of left tackle. If you can get this defense right, you can be a Super Bowl contender.
I think that's I think I would feel better about going all in if they weren't already $10 million over the cap.
I agree.
I think that's the part that's hurting me is like there's this distinct advantage that comes with having a quarterback on a rookie contract, unless you are spending that money elsewhere. Yeah. And that's, again, I don't want to harp on it because I think Ryan Poles had a really successful year, especially through the draft. But this is where those margin moves like Grady Jarrett and Dio Dengbo just kill you.
Yeah.
Because you can't get out of them and they aren't good.
Yeah.
And
Dio probably isn't going to be.
Right, like
I asked Jericho, I was like, "Is there any hope?" He's like, "No, there's no hope."
Like
he's
if
4 years in, he's running past the quarterback.
If they had just simply signed, Milton Williams, then we're looking at it now and going, "It's 14 mil for a really productive player."
You might have been here,
and you'd only be $9 million under the cap, right? And you might have been playing.
You might have been in the game yesterday.
So that's the part that like. Because they have had some bad moves, I don't think you want to throw more picks and more money at chasing bad money.
You put yourself in a worse spot at times. And I'm not saying it always happens this way, but you put yourself in a worse spot at times when you try to fix a mistake all at once.
Right.
You might be in 2026 and you might go from an 11-win team to maybe a 10-win team or a 9-win team, and your season is not as successful as this one was. But you've got better future assets.
It's the same thing I said all preseason when we were hearing the rumors about them going to find another edge rusher because Dio wasn't what they expected him to be at camp.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're going to end up spending $30 million on an edge rusher opposite Montez Sweat because you messed up the Dio signing. Yeah. You could have just gone and signed Josh Sweat. And then it'd be one player instead of two. So I never like the idea of chasing bad money. It's never what I want to do.
You end up chasing your tail the entire time trying to catch up.
I'd prefer to correct mistakes through the draft and get a little cheaper wherever I have to do that so that I have more flexibility going forward. Again, like whatever they choose to do I think that they can get to and win the Super Bowl this season in 2026? Yes.
Yeah.
So if they make the decision that they're going to do all these restructures and kick money down the line and figure out ways to add void years where they can get out of these before they have to pay Caleb, then great. But I don't want you to pick in the first round then, this year or next year, frankly. Just blow everything up and let's get as good as possible right now.
It's going to be a tough offseason no matter what. And I honestly think you have to have as perfect of an offseason as you had last year. This offseason on the defensive side, that's way harder because of the money you have committed. And you have to find ways to upgrade on the defensive line in a massive way quickly. I would move – I've talked about this before. Like, would you entertain going, you still want a pass rusher in Vegas? We'll give you Montez Sweat.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I would – money-wise, here's the money. Here's a first-round pick for you. Here's Montez Sweat. And you get back Max Crosby in some way. Like, I would go in to that level because upgrading that position means that much to the future.
I think I'd even go further. Like, if you are going to go this route of, like, making trades and going all in and doing this stuff, I probably would prefer restructure Sweat and keep him here.
Yeah.
And then use one of Jalen Johnson or DJ Moore and a bunch of picks and just overwhelm Cleveland to the point where they can't say no.
Oh, you're talking about going for Miles.
Yeah, just hit them with a Godfather offer.
Well, see, that's...
Because if you are really...
I'm here for that, and I don't think that is it destroys you in the future move.
No, honestly, I think it makes you better because... You bring in Max Crosby, he has a $35 million cap hit this season.
Yep.
The only way that you're going to bring him in, even if you traded DJ Moore, you'd still be over the cap.
Yeah.
The only way you're bringing him in and becoming cap compliant is if you immediately extend him, which
it's tough.
Yeah, that's like you're probably going to pay him in the range of $150 million.
You're hitting him with the void years.
Right, like it's going to be an enormous cap hit in the years after 2026. If you bring in Myles Garrett, all of that work is already done. He's got a lower, I think his cap hit this year is $25 million in 2026, $10 million less. You could flip either DJ Moore or Jalen Johnson and immediately be under the cap in acquiring Myles Garrett, which for me is like, so I can restructure Sweat, get myself under, and then just use one of these two players that is creating a bit of a cap problem for me, and a bunch of picks until Cleveland can't say no anymore. Until Cleveland can't hang up the phone on me.
Shay, I'll be honest with you. If that's the all-in that you're talking about, you can have DJ and Jalen.
All right. I mean,
here's the reason why. I love them both. I don't want to get rid of them. Find a way to keep them on the team and add. Right. That's my dream. I think you're better with the Jalen Johnson. And when people go, I do agree. Good defensive lines make corners better. What is that going to do for a great corner when he's locked in and healthy, right? I think that having Jalen Johnson on this team makes you better. You see what we saw last night out of Devin Witherspoon. You see what we saw last night out of Christian Gonzalez. Like, those are guys that can save you a game. But bottom line is, Myles Garrett is not a top 5 pass rusher. Myles Garrett's a top 5 player. I can't give you 10 players better than Myles Garrett, more impactful on a football field than Myles Garrett. I don't know if I can give you 5 players more impactful on a football field than Myles Garrett. Maybe you go quarterback. Yeah. Myles Garrett destroys teams. Cleveland's defense was one of the best. It was arguably the best defense in football. And there's a lot of pieces on that defense where you go, oh yeah, he does play there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, look, Mason Graham was great this year. Carson Schlesinger was up for Rookie of the Year. Did he win Defensive Rookie of the Year? He was terrific.
So.
They had a lot of pieces. But, yeah, like, Myles is a difference maker. And if you take quarterbacks out of it, as far as impact players go, I mean, you're talking about Carson Schlesinger.
Schlesinger did win, yeah.
You're talking about most impactful players, non-quarterback. It's Micah. It's Myles Garrett. It's, like, Nick Bosa. Might be able to throw Devin Witherspoon in after last night. Like, that's the short list of those guys. Where if I'm going to make this an all-in thing, then, I think I'd just try to overwhelm Cleveland rather than go for max.
And the thing is, like, it changes everybody on this team. Now, all of a sudden, you're looking at Tremaine Edmonds, and if it's DeMarco Jackson, if it's TJ Edwards, we don't know when TJ is going to be able to get back on the field, but whoever it is, they're so much better. Montez Sweat, so much better. If they want Montez Sweat and Jalen Johnson, or whatever the combination is, like, I think he's that level of player. He's what Green Bay thought Micah was going to be for them. And by the way, you can't play the game of, we'll just run at him and tire him out.
And look, I know we're doing like fantasy football pipe dream stuff.
We're going off the rails on this one,
But this is
you're going to go all in.
This is how I would view it. If you want to keep a lot of these guys on the team, then that's the way I would approach it, where I just go nuts. Like, just offer them anything. Just start the conversation with, no, Cleveland, what do you want? and go from there. Like, that's the level I would take of it.
Ben Johnson.
Because, dude, just if I'm living in a world where I get to keep Montez Sweat, then I'm putting Myles Garrett on the right side, Montez on the left side. Yeah. I can kick Dio into tackle where he probably should be anyways. And then figure, like, if it's Jervon Dexter, if it's Grady Jarrett, whoever. But if I've got bookends in Myles Garrett and Montez Sweat, I feel pretty good about what's up the middle, no matter who it is.
Can I also say
and
this?
Dio's great against the run, so kind of an advantageous spot to kick him in.
Especially on the interior. Can I also say this? The dumbest front office in football right now? Talking about the Browns, like, probably the one you could take advantage of a little bit. Hey, Ryan Poles, can you run back some of that Panthers magic? Like, how they operated this offseason, finding a head coach, is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
We're going multiple choice test. We're going written essay. We're going to figure out guys that can call plays in a year that coaches were available that are all coaches where if the Bears didn't have Ben Johnson, we'd be like, would love to have that guy.
Yeah,
would love to have that guy.
It's crazy.
How did you not end up with one of them because of a test? Insane work. Let's take a quick break, do the ad read here, and then get back into a little bit of Bears conversation before we get out of here. Today's episode brought to you, as always, by Underdog. Make picks, win money. To score $75 in bonus entries, make sure that you use that promo code CBP when you play your first $5. And guess what? We're up to basketball now, ladies and gentlemen, or the Olympics. If you're putting a bid in on curling, or do you need to call the hotline on that? Are you doing a little too much, or are you okay with that during the Olympics?
No, hockey's probably the only thing I'll bet.
I can see that. I can see hockey being the obvious one. I know some people that are placing the 3 a.m. curling.
I don't
play, and
no,
that's
I
crazy.
don't bet that way. I obviously I bet football, NFL, college, all fall. Now, I mean, I have been, but I'll bet a lot of college basketball.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty much on hiatus until football starts.
You don't do any NBA?
No, hell no. I don't even know who's playing. NBA's terrible. I mean, if you want a little set, NBA sucks. Everything about it.
Oof.
It's awful.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
Dude, I got Anthony Davis getting traded to the Wizards. God knows why. And then immediately ending his season.
Yeah.
I got Giannis festering trade rumors and then coming out the day after the deadline saying he owns Kulshi.
That was nuts. That was insane.
I got Tim Legler doing Bill Simmons pod and saying players don't even try anymore, and it's a feeling among not only players but also coaches and executives.
Yeah.
No, dude, the league's horrible.
At
At least watching college basketball, because I do love the sport of basketball. Yeah. At least I know my guys are going to play and they're going to give it their A+ effort.
Yeah, but it might be a G League guy at this point.
I mean, there's
which was
there's flaws in everything.
The fact that they all kind of suck is the funniest thing.
Listen,
hang it up, bud.
Listen, at least I root for a school where the coach is like, that's bullshit. That should not be happening.
Yeah.
At least I don't have to do mental gymnastics to be like, actually, it's fine that Bediako's on the court for me.
It's insane, bro. It's insane. The greatest chant of the weekend, though, G League dropout.
Incredible.
I love it. Make sure that you guys have tapped it. You can play any of that on Underdog. Just pick higher or lower. And if your guy wins, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Underdog, make picks, win money. EOQ, the disclaimer. Or Nick this week, cue the disclaimer. Must be 18 years or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or over in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Welcome back into the Chicago Bears podcast. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We talked a lot of Bears on this one coming out of the Super Bowl. I don't want to get into Illinois, Michigan State at all on this one because every possession, not a single overtime possession, we're not a single foul. We're not a foul call. Insane.
Dude,
insane.
I was being snarky on social media.
I respected it.
And
you know how I get down. When you sent me the text, I was like, well done. I was waiting for it.
I was really clearly rage baiting on social media. It was an incredible game.
It was a great game.
Just awesome.
It was a great game. It's sad to see. Which one is it? Jeremy Fears, right? Jeremy Fears Jr. I hate that he is so much into the foul baiting and plays very different from his brother who Jeremiah Fears in New Orleans, who's phenomenal, plays tough, plays through content. You can tell which one of them grew up enjoying Shea Gilgeous a lot.
What kills me, though, about it is he's so good.
He's so talented. He doesn't need to do it.
Just play basketball. The transition defense, stop on a dime stuff. And honestly, I know everybody's flipping out about that he tripped. I'm not giving Jeremy Fears any benefit of the doubt. I don't know what's going on in his head. Maybe he did try to trip him. But there's also a part of it where, like, nobody wants to talk about the elbow he caught on the side of his face on the same play.
Yeah.
And he is just kind of planting at the three-point line. Now, is he full speed and then stop?
Yeah.
Sure. Does he know what he's doing? I imagine so. He's not exactly innocent of dirty play. Like, I can't sit here and be dishonest about it. But the thing that kills me is he's so good at basketball.
So talented.
Just play ball.
It's what irritated me the most was, and I do look at the refs and I'm like, all right, anytime
I know
you're in that building.
Listen, something I've learned about Illinois hoops fans, because as a Michigan State fan, I've beaten plenty of Big Ten teams in that building. Yeah. But boy, you guys really drive the ref stuff.
No.
You give Michigan football a run for their money.
No. It is literally the only time I bring up the refs, and it's because it's so consistent, is when it's Michigan State in Michigan State.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, you'll see it. It happened halfway through the first half.
Yeah.
Izzo just went, "What are you looking at?"
Yeah.
And it was over.
Was it the same thing
over.
Was it the same thing when you guys blew a 20-point lead in Champaign last year?
No, that's different. That's bad play. And I said that was bad play.
Man.
I said that was bad
Nick.
play. I didn't go refs on that one.
Nick, 4-0 against Illinois in the last 4.
Yeah,
Dude, being a ref is a tough gig, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you got Izzo in your pocket. Anyway. Bastards. I was so mad. I was like, he's going to text me. I know he is.
Can I just say something about Brad Underwood real quick?
Here we go.
I think Brad Underwood's a great coach.
Yeah.
We got to get a little situational help. 40 seconds left, Michigan State ball down 4, and you just let Jeremy Fears dribble the air out of the ball. Yeah. That was ridiculous. Yeah. That was the game.
That was. He is a very much. There's certain coaches that are like that, and I think Billy Donovan is like this with the Bulls. He's gonna let his players live and die by what they do well. And so he's like, go out there and play your game. I am willing to trust you in this moment. And I think it's college kids. You can't do that all the time. There are moments where you got to go, now, okay, boys, let's lock in here.
In his defense, like 90% of the team is professional.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of trades here.
This is fun. This is fun. I like having the upper hand.
There's not much I can say. Like it's no matter how good we are. I don't even know what did the polls come out at. Where did we rank? Or they did not drop?
No, they'll come out this afternoon.
Oh, this afternoon. We're not dropping out of the top 10. You'll probably move up to 5, I would assume, or maybe 7.
No way. No, we lost to Minnesota early in the week.
That's true.
Probably be 8.
Probably 8, 7 or 8.
The Illinois win makes up for a lot of it.
We'll be probably right next to each other.
The Big Ten's excellent.
It's dominant. I didn't even want to talk about this, but it is dominant. It's just it's so annoying that it's like they forget everything that they've been so good at. You just beat 2 top 5 schools by doing everything you didn't do versus Michigan State.
I mean, there's only so much. Like,
and Wagler basically just said, "I'm not going to play."
That's the key.
He was done.
I love the reason I brought up the ref stuff originally was because anytime I hear this from fans, it's like Michigan football fans would watch. J.J. McCarthy would throw 3 interceptions in a loss, like to TCU, and they go, "Oh, the refs, the refs screwed us," and I'm like, dude, JJ threw 3 picks. Yeah. Was that the refs?
Yeah.
The refs did that?
No.
You know what I mean? Or like they'd lose to Ohio State by 30 and go, the refs effed us. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. Really? Was it the refs that caught 4 touchdowns?
I will say, I do think there are a lot of Illinois fans that go that I'm not there. Illinois should have still won that game.
For sure, but
they had their opportunities. But it is a lot harder, though, in the overtime period when every possession is a foul call.
But again, like, oh, the refs cost us the game. Did they also shoot 2 of 16 from the field?
They did not.
Because, like, I get both sides of it that, wow, Michigan State barely beat us without a guard who's got a broken hand, and Wagler couldn't hit it throw it in the ocean. It's like, yeah, sure, it took overtime. We got the win, whatever. Like, I understand there's nuance to it. I'm going to have fun with it. I got the win. I have the upper hand. But it is like Keaton Wagler shooting 2 of 16 is why Illinois lost. 100%. It's not whatever 100%. Foul call. If Keaton Wagler shoots,
wasn't even confident. Got the opportunity for the last shot.
If Keaton Wagler
passed out of it,
dude. If he has a bad night and goes 5 of 16,
they win.
Illinois wins. Yeah. He had a abysmal, awful, horrific night where he could only hit from the stripe and was just forcing stuff from the field. He couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. That was the difference.
It is hilarious to me, though, that with all of these NIL guys around here, it's one thing that I do enjoy about college basketball right now. With all the NIL guys around, it's still kind of like the spunky freshmen that are like, yeah, I'm the difference in this team being good or bad. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, we're going to pay for all of these professional players that are pros, and yet still kind of how college basketball was intended is working its way in.
Hot take, this is the best freshman class of my lifetime. This is right up there with that 08 class.
The 08 class is the one I was going to go to.
Between Darren Peterson, who I know people hate because he's doing the load management stuff, and I get it. I think red flags as far as the NBA goes, but that dude,
that guy's not going to play. If he's not playing now, he ain't playing in the league.
That dude can play.
Yeah, he can ball.
Debansa at BYU.
Boozer.
Yeah, Cam Boozer up for MPOY, Duke. You're talking about 2 freshmen who are 1 and 2 in National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
The third one, who's not even involved because he doesn't play that much, is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft.
Probably.
Then you've got 9 total freshmen that made the Wooden midseason top 25 watch list.
Yeah.
And you've got...
It's a heck of a class. You might...
And even beyond that, there's the kid at UConn.
Keaton Wagler.
There's Keaton Wagler. Keaton Wagler didn't make the watch list. Keaton Wagler is another one of these freshmen. Braden Burries at Arizona.
Yep.
Another one of these freshmen.
Somebody to watch for, too. If the Bulls lose enough, they might actually be in that range.
This is an incredible, this is an amazing freshman class, which is why it mixes the good with the bad, where I got to deal with G League kids deciding they want to come back. Or who's the kid from Charlotte who's like, I want to go back to college.
Bro, listen.
But the freshmen are still carrying the flag.
It kind of is. And what's funny about it is because of how teams are watching now at the NBA level, I'll bet you there's a bunch of them that are coming back. Like your top 5 aren't coming back, right? Cam Boozer, he's gone. AJ Dibansta's gone.
Darren
Peterson's gone 100%. But I could see Keaton Wagler coming back to college and being like, yeah, well, I didn't really get a chance to show everything I am and show what my game looks like a little bit more developed. I could be the number 1 pick in the draft next year. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of that mindset. So I didn't even want to talk this much about college basketball, as I was very upset about that this weekend. And then I come in and you're not even that broken up about the Patriots loss. I was going to dunk on that. There's nothing. It was funny you said this, and I think this is true. When you start to actually break down games, look through tape, evaluate the game, you start to go into these moments where it's like things that used to destroy me or would have ripped my heart out. Now it's just kind of like, I kind of saw this coming.
Yeah, baseball's the one thing, because I grew up with my dad, and we had family in Boston, so we would go visit him all the time. I thought I'd end up living there. And the Patriots, Celtics both became a huge part of my childhood. Yeah. We hung out with family that lived in Boston, and we'd go visit all the time. It was the dream city when I was a kid. But growing up, my dad and I just went to Tigers games. We had season tickets, and we'd just hang out. And so, that's the one thing that I've really held on to. And then, obviously, Michigan State, because there's no conflict with what I do for work. But I was just joking around because, pre-show we were talking about it. And I used to laugh. There was a Duke game once years ago I was watching, and Jay Billis was on the broadcast. And they asked Jay Billis, they're like, are you still a Duke fan? And he goes, doing the games, calling the games, watching all the games I have to watch, a part of you dies. And I was like, you're so full of shit, Jay. You're so just shut up. You're a Duke fan, dude. Just admit it. And it's weird because the more that I've been here, I've been here 4 years now, just dialed into Chicago sports. And the more I do that, you have less time in your life. I don't have time to pull up League Pass and watch a January Celtics game. I don't have time on any given Sunday where if Bears and Patriots are both playing in the noon window, the Bears are my job. They take priority one. Yeah. So it's kind of certain things. Now, baseball's easier because it's summertime and there's 2 teams here, and I can really...
One of them sucks real bad.
I can really also... I can play the villain role in my childhood fandom there. But, the other stuff, it just... I don't know, I didn't end up in Boston. I think that's a part of it. When I was a kid, I always thought I would, and I ended up here, and I just kind of dove in head first. Yeah. And a lot of that does recede a little bit.
It's. I remember when I first started The Breeze, I was still doing it as a fan. I was like, this is how fans talk. And I think I still do it as a fan. I love all the teams. I'm diehard. But it is very difficult for me to know going into a game you're probably going to get your head kicked in. And Bears has been that for most of it until this year. You're probably getting your head kicked in. It's very difficult for me to go, no, I'll find a way to win.
Yeah.
That was the one where in the beginning, right, where I started with Mitch and them, and I remember the worst take I ever had, and I still stand that this is probably the worst take I've ever had. Maybe the Justin one has moved into that role. Maybe. but Mitch had come off of his second season, maybe his rookie year. No, I think it was the second season because he had worked with Nagy, and I'm thinking he's going to get better. He's going to figure it out, and they're going to run him more. And I was like, this dude's a big dude, man. He could be like white Cam Newton. Like, you could literally just have, and it was just, I go back to that to re-humble myself every now and then, just be like, you were an idiot.
Yeah.
And at times you still are. But this is a terrible thing to say on a camera.
Yeah,
and you dropped the video with confidence. And worst part is, you believed it for a second there.
Hey.
That's the part of me that has died.
We've all had some, man. I mean, some dumbass on your show said that Nick Sirianni's better coach than Ben Johnson. Some moron.
Yeah.
No, but it's just
it is hilarious. Since that moment, downhill.
look, dude.
He's got a ring. He's got a ring. It is what it is.
The thing that always cracks me up is like this person has to answer for their terrible take.
Yeah.
If you're in front of a microphone 20 hours a week every week, you're gonna have some stuff that isn't right.
Yeah.
Like if you can't, I always have said this. I had friends who wanted to do this job when we were growing up, and I was like the first one to get into it. And they're like, "What advice do you have for me?" And honestly, if anybody's watching, this is genuinely some of the best advice I think you can give for people who want to get into this. You cannot care about being right or wrong. Right or wrong cannot mean anything to you.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say stuff that's going to be wrong, but it's always going to be the thing I believe when I'm saying it. If you start getting lost in like, I won't say something because I don't want to be wrong or I'm not sure that that's right, then you're going to end up never saying anything.
Yeah.
And I think it makes you worse at the job. So, yeah, am I going to say some obscene shit that's going to be incredibly ugly and wrong eventually? Of course. Yeah. Am I going to say stuff that's going to be incredibly right, like Jared Verse? Yeah, I'm going to have hits, I'm going to have misses.
Yeah.
But it's just I'm going to shoot it straight.
No, that's the thing I respect about you is you always go, this show's not entertaining if we don't believe it. And in that moment, we believe it. Like, it may end up being wrong. And we've seen that. I mean, like, listen, me and you had a screaming match on air about Justin Fields. I literally was like, I believe this guy, if you give him an offensive line and you give him wide receivers, he's going to be a better quarterback. And you know what? For lack of a better term, Ryan Poles did by sending him away. He gave him an offensive line. He gave him wide receivers. Gave him a running game.
What have we learned?
It was bad. It was real bad.
I don't know. I know this is inside baseball, and we're peeling the curtain back, and we're like fucking around about college basketball a little bit. This is what happens when the Super Bowl blows.
Yeah. Dude, were you not a fan of it? Were you not a fan of the Super Bowl? I like.
If not for childhood allegiances that have waned, I wouldn't have cared at all. My wife at halftime left the room, went and watched Netflix.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't have a dog in this fight, and honestly, this game sucks. And I felt like the 2 weeks of lead up, if you weren't in a diehard Patriots fan or a diehard Seahawks fan, you didn't care. Nobody cared.
See, here's what was funny about it. I said this was going to be the ball knowers bowl. Like, if you know ball, like if you're like, you're sitting there going, yo, Devin Witherspoon could, like, and I saw people that were doing, like, Devin Witherspoon, like, might be the most valuable player in this game, depending. And then you see Kenneth Walker go off, and it kills that. But it's like, I felt like going into this game, if you were somebody who's diving into the week in, week out, I'm watching not League Pass, what is it, a Sunday Ticket.
Yeah.
And I know every team, for the most part, roster construction and where they're good at and where this team goes. Like, I was like, this is going to be the game for you. And I was watching it, and for the first time ever, Super Bowl home alone. I didn't know that this was a phenomenal thing to experience. And I was like, this is a great time. I'm enjoying the game. Yeah, good defensive game.
It rocks. I had a friend over, and maybe this is part of why my wife left too, because we were geeking the fuck out. I mean, like most Super Bowl parties, it's like, it's the Tony Romo. I'll put it this way. The casual fan is the Tony Romo. Ooh, Jim, it's that time. It's time for Tom Brady to deliver. Yeah. Oh, is Patrick Mahomes going to do it? This is what we live for, Jim. Like, everybody wants to watch the quarterbacks. Yeah. And the game started, and me and my buddy are sitting there, and my wife's watching, and I'm going, is Christian Gonzalez on JSN, or do they have Carlton Davis with Hawkins bracket covering? And that's what we're talking about at the start of the game, not quarterback related at all. Yeah. And she's like, fuck me. She's like, I don't even know the players in this game. I don't care about the teams. I don't care about the fans. She's like, game stinks. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I feel like there was a lot of people that were that way. I asked my group chat this morning, I said, did you enjoy the game or did you think it was boring? And there were a lot of people that went to Super Bowl party. And if you're going to a Super Bowl party, like an actual Super Bowl party, it's impossible to pay attention to the game. That's the worst part. Like, I rewatched the first Eagles and Chiefs Super Bowl because I end up going to a party, and I'm like, this is a close game, and I couldn't pay attention because there was somebody sitting here that was just like, can't believe you work for ESPN. This is great. And I don't mind that. I don't trip out about stuff like that. I don't mind having that conversation. Not now. There's football on my screen. I want to watch it.
Dude, at one point in the third quarter. Now, I will say the second half was shit.
Second half was rough.
There was a pretty clear pivot point. Like, the first half was just spectacular defense.
Yes.
The second half, it became more about bad Patriots offense than it was good Seattle defense. Yeah. So that's when the game got shitty.
They looked broken. It looked like they got broken.
There was a point early third quarter, like right after Bad Bunny, and my wife had just gone in the other room, and she calls my name, and I didn't even hear it. My buddy goes, I think she's calling you. I'm like, oh, and I walk in, and she goes, I can't figure out how to get Netflix on the TV. Can you make sure it's signed in? And I'm like, the fucking Super Bowl is on right now.
It's Peacock or nothing. My daughter came downstairs and was like, can I watch something else? And I was like, no. You can go upstairs with mom if you want to. My wife was, she's watching the kid and doing all that stuff. I was like, you can go sit with mom or you can sit down here and watch the Super Bowl. That's what's on these three TVs in this basement. And that's all that's going to be on these three TVs in this basement. It was a great time, man. Hey, let us know how you guys like the Super Bowl, man. Let us know your thoughts.
Spoiler alert, they didn't.
I'm going to say we got a good ball knowers group in the description or in the chat, I should say. I'm going to say there's probably some people in there that enjoyed it. There was a lot of people. I was surprised by how many people don't go to Super Bowl parties. I think they're yesterday.
I think they're done, to be honest.
Bro, I feel like my tweet ended up getting like 3,000 likes, I think, on it. Like, I think the overwhelming majority, not even trying to flex, I was stunned by the fact that so many people were like, yeah, I never go.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for it. My team's not in it. Like, if I'm going to be around Bears fans, that's different, but my team's not in it.
I think if you're older and it's like what you've always done,
yeah,
then you probably are still doing it to some extent. But I think COVID drove a stake through it. Like, we had multiple years where you weren't doing it.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge Super Bowl party guy. I'm more of like, I'll always host. I never want to be at someone else's house for the Super Bowl. I want to be at my house because I want to have control of the volume. You know, I want to hear the broadcast. Yes. I want to hear the commercials I don't really care about, but I want to hear the broadcast. I want to be able to watch the game on my TV. So I always host. But I like to keep it small. Like, at most, I'm going to have 4, 5 friends over.
Yeah.
And we'll hang out and watch the game. And it's going to be people who I know are going to be into it. I don't need, 20 of my closest friends coming over and everybody's bringing a dish and they're talking and it's loud. I don't want that at all.
It was funny because I didn't realize so many people, like, when even watching with their families, because I was like, oh, yeah, like, my family's locked in on the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, our music goes based on if the commercials are good or not. So, like, the first half of the game might be like, there's a little music on in the background, but the game is louder. And then if we kind of can see, like, oh, these commercials are going to be bad. Like, they did not do it. By the way, yesterday, bad. The Manscaped one a little bit. That was funny. I got a chuckle out of me.
The Mike Tyson one shocked me.
The Tyson one surprised me. And then what was the other one? There was the Good Will Hunting one, which I thought ESPN beat you to the punch with Good Kid Hunting, which was hilarious. Check that out on our social media. Those were the 3 that stood out. Other than that, I was like,
yeah.
So, like, on a game like that, second half, music up all during the commercials, music goes back down during the game. So our family's locked in on the game. I'm realizing my family's not normal, and we're probably all sports sycophants.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I've come to terms with, too, where, like, I'm talking to somebody who doesn't do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because there are times that you miss stuff, and people bring stuff up, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that. Yeah. And you start to question, am I locked in enough? Am I locked in? And then I talk to, like, a guy who has a 9-to-5 job about sports, and I'm like, I'm locked in enough. Yeah.
That's 100% true, bro. Let us know how locked in you were during the Super Bowl. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For Shea Norling, it's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down, one love. The off season's here, baby. Let's make it worth it. Peace.